Hello grade 3, how are you? In this video inshallah we are going to talk or revise the habitat topic. This lesson objective is to sort the animals to their habitat, learn about different animals' adaptation to live in their habitat. At first, let's know what is the meaning of habitat and adaptation. Humans can live all over the world. We can live in any place. Sahara Desert, which is very hot, Greenland, which is very cold and icy. We can wear different clothes according to the place at which we are living in. If we live in Sahara Desert, we will wear light clothes as the weather is very hot. While if we live in the Greenland or somewhere which is very cold, we will keep wear heavy clothes to feel warm. Most plant and animals can only live in their habitat or in certain environment or surroundings. Plants and animals cannot do that, cannot put on and off clothes if the weather is cold or hot. So plants and animals have their own environment, have their own place that they must live in to survive. They can't change their clothes. So now we can say that habitat is where a plant or an animal live. Where a plant or an animal live is called its habitat. The habitat of an animal or a plant must give it three things: shelter, a place to live in; food, water and oxygen; food, something to eat; water, to drink; air, to breathe; and safe place to give babies, safe place to produce offsprings, to produce babies. Like for example the frog cannot lay its eggs in any place over the sand or on the grass. It must lay its eggs in the pond so it will hatch and give healthy babies. So the habitat must provide or give the animal three things, which are shelter, food, and safe place to produce babies or to reproduce or to give babies. Let's take examples like the frog live in the pond habitat because there's lots of lovely slugs to eat, and this is food, and water for frog spawn, water for frog to lay eggs, spawn mean lay eggs; damp air so frog doesn't dry out. The air around the frog in this place is wet air that will never let the skin of the frog dry. Bird in a wood habitat because there is plenty of materials to build its nest, which is shelter, materials to build its nest, and feathers. Using the feather it can make camouflaging, and there is lots of juicy worms to eat. So the nest is a safe place to give babies, to reproduce, and camouflaging. Its feather can make camouflaging with the tree, which is safe place, which will make the place safe. Lots of juicy worms in the underground to eat, so that it's food. For an animal to live in any habitat, it must have features, special features or special characters in its body that help it to live in this habitat. So we call those special features adaptation. Adaptation are features, special features in the body of the animal or the plant that help it to live in its habitat, or help it to survive in its habitat. And survive also means live. Let's talk about the otter. The otter live in the river. Okay, it has eyes and nostrils. Eyes and nostrils. Nostrils are the opens in the nose. Eyes and nostrils that can close underwater. If it swim under the water, it's a mammal. It doesn't have gills, so it breathes using lungs. So its nostrils and eye can close underwater if it's swimming under the water. Webbed feet to swim. Long whiskers. It has long whiskers to feel the vibration in water. If any small fish is moving in the water, the otter can feel its vibration. The otter can feel its vibration to find it and catch it, to eat it, to hunt it. So it has long whiskers to feel vibration in water to help it find food. The squirrel live in the tree. It has long claws to climb the tree, and it also has strong teeth for opening nuts, for opening its food. Bushy tail, the bushy tail is for balance while climbing the trees, it will not fall down, and so on. The cactus plant live in the desert, which is very hot and dry. The conditions in the desert is very hot and dry, so it has long roots. Its roots is very long to find water. Its stem, the stem is very fleshy, very thick. The stem is very fleshy and thick to store water. Its leaf is thin needle leaf, very small leaf, so it will not lose water through the opens in the leaf, which we know about it. Let's talk about adaptation in different conditions, like hot condition, cold condition, soil condition, under the stone condition, and water. First, let's talk about Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert is a very, very hot habitat. Okay, we can find the desert rat there. It must have the adaptation to live and survive in desert. That's why it has big ears to lose excess body heat. Its big ears help it to lose heat, and long tail for balance. As you know, desert is very hot at the morning and cold at night, so it still needs thin fur to help it warm at night. Good eye, sight and hearing that help it to be active at night, to hunt at night, and so on. Let's talk about the cool habitat. And the animals that live in the cold environment is the seal, the sea seal. The sea seal has streamlined body. Can you see? Its body is very curved, streamlined, like the fish. This streamlined body helps it to swim, and it also has small ears, and those small ears will reduce heat loss, and reduce mean make it less, so it helps it to keep heat inside its body as its ears are small. It has layers of fat to keep its body warm, webbed feet to swim, oily fur to keep it waterproof, so when it swim in water it come out without being wet. Then adaptation to live in water. Gills to breathe under the water. Sensitive area in its body to feel vibration if there is danger coming, or if there is some prey swimming toward it, so it can find its food and it can protect itself from enemies like shark and whales. Streamlined body to swim, fins and tail to swim. Adaptation to live in water and on land, water and land, like the frog, which live in pond and sometimes on land. Its eyes and nostrils, the opens in its nose, lie above the water layer when it's swimming. When the frog is swimming, its eyes and nostrils lie above the water level. Wide mouth, its mouth is big with a sticky tongue to catch flies. Lungs to allow it breathe fast. Moist skin to breathe, it can breathe through its skin. Its skin can allow oxygen in. Moist skin to allow oxygen pass through. Webbed feet for swimming. Strong hind legs to jump. Sensitive area in its body to feel vibration in water, so it can save itself from enemies or from wild animals, and it can find prey. Let's see adaptation to live in soil, like the worm. The worm is brown, same like the soil, so it can hide in it, which means camouflaging. Brown camouflage. Skin help the worm to hide in the soil, moist skin to allow oxygen in, pointed head to cut through the soil, bristled on underside, which mean those lines are called bristles in on underside, so it helped the worm to grip through the soil barrow, which mean to dig in the soil and make its place or its shelter inside the soil. Damp stone like the wood lice, which has a flat body. The flat body help it to crawl under the stone. Two antennae that help it feel the vibration, so it can protect its body from predators or enemies and can feel the prey. Protective plate. And some wood lice can curl into a ball. Some wood lice can curl into a ball for protection. Now we finish habitat and adaptation. Let's answer some sheets. Habitat. A habitat is the place where a plant or an animal lives. There is picture for 4 different habitat. Complete the letters. It's very easy. Tree, flower bed, under rock, and pond. A. Write down 2 animals you think would live in each of the habitats you named above. A. In the tree we can find bird and squirrels. C is the pond, we can find frogs and slugs. B, flower bed, we can find bees and butterflies. D, under rock, we can find wood lice and worms, ants, and so on. Draw a line between each animal or plant and its habitat. Otter, river. Ant, underground. Cactus, desert. Seaweed, in the seabed. The picture below shows 2 different habitats. Describe the condition in both of these habitats in the space below. Condition mean how it's like. For example, Greenland, if you look carefully at the picture, you will find it's very cold and snowy. So Greenland, cold and snowy, with some water areas. Desert, very hot, sunny, and dry. Animals must be adapted to the habitat they live in so they can survive. Use the words in the bubbles to complete the sentences about 2 creatures that live in the sea. We have adapted fish, breathe shark, move gills, fins. What are the 2 animals we find there? Sharks and other fish are adapted to living under the sea. They have to help them through the water, gills to help them breathe through the water, and fins to help them move. Use the icy words to finish the sentences about the 2 Arctic creatures, bear and seal. Polar bear and fur seal live in icy cold conditions. They have thick fur to keep them warm. Thank you so much, grade 3, for watching the video. If you have any question, don't feel shy to come and ask. Thank you so much. Hope you understand it. Bye bye.